Welcome to Mtoto News Insight. My name is Omar Ahmed. The annual observance day of the International Day of Family will take place on 15th May 2019 under the theme Families and Climate Action. The day reflects the importance the international community attaches their role in development.
Family, I would consider it as the smallest unit of relationships. It is where we have the core identity of ourselves. It is where we find connection with whom we are. And therefore, we find that when we talk about the family, we are talking about that small unit of social interaction. It is that small unit that begins to define the do's and the don'ts, and it gives meaning to us. Whether we are young, whether we are middle in age, we are middle-aged, and whether we are old. Family is an identity that we move along with from childhood to, to the senior-most age that one can acquire.
Family to me is basically a unit, a social unit that is, or a social group of people which involves the child and the parents. The importance of the family, I'll say that first, that's where you get your first values as a child and get to know more about your culture. And secondly, you feel more safe when you have a family, or that sense of belonging in a family. That's also one of the importance of the family. The other importance of the family, I'll say there's that sense of protection.
During the Milimani Children's Court Open Day held on 6th May 2019, children from different institutions gathered to understand more about the judicial system and also raise concerns on their challenges. However, a question on lowering age of consent from 18 to 16 years was raised, since some judges from the Court of Appeal wanted it to be reviewed. This was after a sexual offense perpetrator was released after serving a 5-year jail term instead of 15.
Well, it's not even in Parliament. The children's bill is it's been at the Office of Attorney General for very long. We don't know why it's taking long. As you hear from Justice Koome, the task force has worked on that bill for very many years. First of all, before the task force worked on it, the children's sector worked on it. Then the task force took over. Now it's several years since from 2016 up to now. It's enough time for the task force to have worked, and the task force have said they've actually finished their work. But we don't know why the executive has put a clock. And it's that act that actually provides for children like the ones we are seeing here, children who find themselves in court as either in need of care of protection or in conflict with the law, that can get support. For instance, children in conflict with the law can get support because you find many of them are children that are actually wrongly in the justice system, like the case you heard of Dan, that the own father beat him and almost killed him. because he was hungry and he ate food for supper before supper time. That is not a thief, that is not a criminal. And that child then would have gone to the justice system as a thief, when he should actually be a child in need of care and protection. And so we, in the children's bill, there are issues of diversion and other issues of child justice that are in there. And the longer it takes, the more difficult it becomes for the legal framework to work. First of all, I'm very opposed to the age of consent. The proposal to lower the age of consent to 16 years. The people who wanted it lower to 16, in their mind, they are thinking that when they lower it to 16, then the person who is 16 will be engaging with a person who is 17, 18. But we have a society that has gone so rogue that when you open that cap, you are basically telling a 60 or 70-year-old man to get engaged with 16, because that's what lowering the consent means. It means you are making the child sexually available for anyone of any age. And that cannot happen. Now when the society is changing and we're having an opportunity for girls going to school, then we cannot have people taking us backwards. So that is something we cannot allow.
Children being in school means that the learning environment should be conducive. This includes classrooms with desks and chairs for pupils to write and sit on. However, this is not a case for one of the primary schools in Kilifi County. Anna Wambui has a report.
Mangororo Primary School in Kilifi County was on Thursday, May 9th, a focus as citizens saw photos of the school that were going viral online of students sitting on bricks as stagnant water stared at their faces. The school has been established to be in Jaribuni Ward, Ganze Sub-County, Kilifi County. The students do not only lack desks and chairs, but even the classrooms are in poor conditions, prompting to ask, what is the work of the county government in Kilifi? And are there not qualifications that an institution must attain to be licensed to fit to accommodate learners?
Darasa la kwanza hapa lina watoto 51 na wanakaa chini ya mawe, mvua ikinyesha maji yote yanaingia pale ndani. Tulikuwa na uhitaji mkubwa sana wa madarasa.
The government has a policy of ensuring that schools reach a certain standard, whether schools are private or public. Those standards must be met. If the schools are public schools, the government will ensure, because it registered them, will ensure that the schools are brought to the standard that we want.
Taking you aback, Kilifi government passed a clean 13 billion shillings budget estimate for 2018-2019 fiscal year. An estimated 1.05 billion shillings was allocated to the county division education. Yet, children sit in such rooms that risk them contracting diseases because of the water and, of course, flu. Mangororo is not the only school to have been highlighted for poor and lack of infrastructure, as just 3 weeks ago, Kaperop Primary School in Turkana County, we saw young children learning under trees, determined to get an education that the government has mandated every child to acquire.
Na kiongozi ambaye anaingia kwa mamlaka asijue kuhusu Mangororo, shida za Mangororo. Hata huyo former MP ahadi zangu sema kwamba tutaangalia, tutafanya. At the end wametoka, wameacha vile vile.
Education is not just about pumping knowledge, but also providing a conducive learning environment, a safe environment to be precise. From Mtoto News, I am Anne Wambui.
If you have interacted with children, you know that they have the desire to learn something new. Learners in Amagoro village in Busia County look forward to school holidays just to visit Kiwimbi Library, one of the first free libraries in the county. Miriam Jomo with the details.
In a small village called Amagoro in Busia County, just 7 kilometers from the Kenya-Uganda border, lies Kiwimbi Library, which is the first free library in Busia County. The library is visited by as many as 200 to 500 people daily, both school children and adults, with the aim of improving their educational tools and to widen their knowledge.
I found out about Kiwimbi through a family friend. I'd more or less manifested that I really wanted to be able to volunteer again. I used to volunteer when I was younger, when I had time, and then life, work, school, motherhood, being a wife, all of that came into play, and I couldn't volunteer as best as I wanted to.
Kiwimbi is a non-profit charitable organization founded in the year 2011, and it began operating in Kenya in 2012. Kiwimbi Kenya received its approval as an NGO in 2015.
I joined Kiwimbi, I'd say in April, and yeah, went to Amagoro, checked out the place, and it was amazing.
With their mission being to partner with underserved communities worldwide to create educational opportunities through locally learning centers.
My name is Elvis Kulati. I come from Malaba and I'm in Kakamega School in Form 3. I have been learning in Kenya from 2015 now. It is now 4 years. I have benefited much from the community, but I have interacted with many books to help me to pass my standard 8 exam.
Kiwimbi provides critical academic support in the foundational subjects of English and Math. It runs the English Access Program, an American micro-scholarship program involving 5 different local secondary schools. The number of books within the library is over 20,000 volumes and growing.
It has reduced the distance of accessing information, whereby Kiwimbi has all types of storybooks, course books, and revision books right from early childhood to university.
This would help them have a broader view of the world and get to learn something outside class. It is a great exposure since the kids are located deep into the rural area.
I'd say that the thing that I'd like to bring the most to Kiwimbi is just being able to nurture young minds, being able to pour creativity into them and show them how creative that they can be as kids, as people, as Africans.
Due to some few challenges here and there, a number of youth will not have the opportunity to attend secondary school. To help these children, Kiwimbi has developed a variety of vocational training, including arts, carpentry, and tailoring. The tailoring program is a huge help to the school-going kids as they are able to mend their torn uniform and also to make complete school uniform.
Almost 900 children held by a pro-government T-force fighting the Boko Haram armed group in northeastern Nigeria have been freed. This is according to the United Nations. The 894 children, including the 106 girls, have been in the ranks of the government-backed civilian joint task force after a local group which supports the regular soldiers battling Boko Haram. At a ceremony in the northeastern town of Maiduguri, they were released on Friday as a part of a pledge to end and prevent the recruitment and use of children. The Friday release brings the total number of children to 1,727. It was not clear how many children remain in the group's ranks. The freed children will be enrolled in a rehabilitation program with education and training to help them return to civilian life. That's all we had for you today, but for more information you can catch us at our new www.mtotonews.com website and follow us on our social media pages. My name is Omar Hamed.